Welcome back. It's Finance Friday, another special edition of Money Girl where I answer your burning money questions. Today's topic comes from Wilma V, who says, I listened to Money Girl episode 799 about using high-yield savings accounts. It was great advice since online-only banks seem to have the best offers and interest rates. I love your podcast, but I'm now anxious about choosing an online bank. I see myself going with a brand name such as American Express, but their interest rate isn't as high as some other banks I'm unfamiliar with. Can you recommend a good and trustworthy online-only bank? Thank you so much for your question, Wilma. Switching from a traditional local bank to one that only exists online can initially feel strange, and you've got many options out there. So this podcast will review the pros and cons of online and traditional banks. I'll cover how to find a better bank, how to move your money, and manage it easily. Thanks, everyone, for downloading episode 911 of the Money Girl podcast. I'm your host, Laura Adams. I'm an award-winning author, speaker, spokesperson, and founder of The Money Stack. That's my Substack newsletter. You can learn more and connect with me at lauradadams.com. That's also where you can email your money question. I'd love to cover it here on a Finance Friday show. You can also learn more about my books and courses and sign up for The Money Stack. And if you want to record a message, you can call our voicemail at 302-364-0308 and leave your message or comment there. So let's talk about how online banks work. While traditional banks and credit unions with brick and mortar locations usually offer online accounts for handling some or all of your banking needs, online-only institutions have few or no local offices or branches. Their customer service is available only by online chat or phone. Digital banks and credit unions have become popular. They offer every service you might need, like paying bills, depositing paper checks, and making transfers online. However, because digital banks operate only online, they have much lower costs than traditional banks. That allows them to pass the savings along to their customers as higher interest rates on savings and lower or no account fees. Depending on the digital bank, they may also offer other financial products like certificates of deposit or CDs, credit cards, and personal loans. Many offer coverage up to $250,000 per eligible account type through the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, or FDIC. Like a traditional institution, when you open an account with a digital bank, you must provide personal information, including your photo identification like a driver's license, proof of your address, and email address. You must generally be at least 18 years old and have a Social Security or a tax identification number. And once your account is open, you can link it to one or more bank accounts you already have. That allows you to move money between your accounts as needed. Now, I mentioned credit unions. If you're unfamiliar with credit unions, they can offer highly competitive interest rates that you shouldn't miss. The main difference is that credit unions are nonprofit financial cooperatives, and banks are for-profit businesses. Credit unions are owned by their customers, known as members, and investors or shareholders own banks. So banks are in business to please their investors, and that can contradict what's best for customers. Credit unions exist only to serve their members, which is why they generally offer better customer service. Most earnings are returned to a credit union and then ultimately returned to members in benefits like competitive interest rates on deposits, lower interest rates charged on loans, and fewer fees, as I mentioned. Just like most banks have FDIC insurance, which covers up to $250,000 per depositor, credit unions offer the same insurance amount through the NCUA. That stands for the National Credit Union Administration. Both types of insurance are backed by the full faith and credit of the U.S. government. However, credit unions are not allowed to serve the general public like banks. Each one has different requirements. Some will limit membership to defined groups, like those living in a particular geographic area or those working for a specific organization, like those in the military, those working for a hospital system or a school system. Sometimes you can become a credit union member by making a small donation to an association or charitable organization. And most credit unions give automatic membership to the immediate family of existing members. For example, to join the Consumers Credit Union, you just pay a one-time $5 fee to their sponsor, the Consumers Cooperative Association, and then you need to maintain a minimum of $5 in your account. They offer various online checking and savings options, even free rewards checking. So, Wilma, the more you keep in a rewards checking or a savings account, the higher your interest rate will be. So you want to consider your average balance when you're comparing rates on potential new accounts. So let's go through the pros and cons of using an online bank. Digital banks come loaded with benefits, but here are some of the main ones. Certainly paying lower fees. As I mentioned, not owning or staffing a huge network of physical locations certainly means that digital banks have significantly lower expenses, allowing them to charge customers less. Getting competitive products. Since online-only banks can charge less, their products can pay higher interest on savings, charge lower interest rates on loans, or pay better rewards on credit cards. And I think being more convenient. When you can do all your banking online, you can manage your finances anytime and anywhere you have an internet connection. Now, the downsides of digital banking include getting limited customer service. So if you're somebody who relies on customer service for various financial tasks, there may be limited phone or online support. However, I will say most chat functions are available 24/7, and you can usually connect with the bank representative during business hours. You also may have limited ATMs. Digital banks often use an existing ATM network, which could be smaller than a large traditional bank. Since ATMs are the primary source for withdrawing cash from a digital bank account, be sure you have access to enough machines. Oftentimes, you can use an out-of-network ATM and pay a transaction fee, such as $3 or $4. Another thing is, you kind of need to be tech savvy. If you don't have an internet connection or you just don't enjoy using a computer or an app on a smart device, you're probably not a good fit for a digital bank. And not getting checking. Some digital banks only offer savings and not checking accounts. However, it could be a really great high-yield savings that's highly competitive. So, you want to think about your goals when you're looking at different accounts. All right, let's talk about the pros and cons of using a traditional bank. While online banks have lots of benefits, you want to consider the pros for using a traditional bank or credit union. Certainly having local branches. Even if there's only one physical location near you, it could make you feel more connected to a bank or credit union if you want to have a personal relationship with that institution. Also, depositing cash. If you get paid in cash or simply prefer paying most of your expenses in cash, a traditional bank with a nearby branch will be more convenient than an online-only platform. Some ATMs allow cash deposits, but they may not be as easy or safe as a physical branch. And getting a vast ATM network. Most traditional banks and credit unions offer ATMs nationwide, allowing you to deposit or withdraw cash as needed. And receiving more services. I think traditional banks likely offer services that many digital banks don't, such as depositing cash and giving professional guidance. So that in-person interaction could make the difference for those who prefer it to banking remotely. Okay, and the downsides of traditional banks and credit unions. Having limited hours, I think branch locations usually keep typical banking hours during the week, like 9 to 5, with no or maybe just a few weekend hours. So you'll have to do your banking when they're open or rely on an online account when a branch is closed. And paying higher fees. As I mentioned, traditional banks usually charge higher fees than digital banks to remain profitable. So, is switching to an online only bank worth it? Well, I can say I've been a USAA member for many, many years. They only have a few nationwide locations, I think 7 right now, and none of them are close to where I live. They were one of the first mobile banking apps to offer remote deposits for paper checks. And they have a terrific user experience that I enjoy daily. I'm using that app every single day. You must be a current or former military member or the family of one to qualify for most USAA services. In my experience, their customer service far surpasses traditional banks because they have representatives available by phone or chat 24/7, and they're just devoted to their members. While I've never had a problem with the USAA app, I know I could speak to someone quickly if I did. If you feel uneasy about switching to an online-only bank, I recommend using both a digital and a traditional institution until you do feel comfortable about it. You could open your online account and fund it with a bit of money just to try it out, kind of kick the tires by using it to pay a bill or two and depositing a paper check, even one you just write to yourself from another account. And if you like it, you could gradually shift all your banking to a digital option and keep a minimum balance in a traditional bank account so that you maintain your relationship or just the ability to cash a check or deposit cash when needed. You can quickly transfer funds from a traditional account to a digital account as needed. There's no limit on the number of checking and savings accounts you can have. While I always recommend keeping your financial life as simple as possible, there's nothing wrong with having an online and a traditional bank if it suits you. So, when you're ready to change banks, I'm going to go through 5 steps you need to follow. Number 1, research your options and apply for your new account. So, Wilma asked for a good online banking recommendation. And Wilma, it's so difficult because offers are always changing. I think committing to a good option is better than chasing the highest possible interest rates. And Wilma, if you're a happy American Express customer, I'd say going with their banking products may be a good option for you. You can always shop around and compare personal and business accounts at sites like Finder and Raisin. I'll put links to them in the notes for the show. In addition to a bank's interest rate, be sure it has FDIC or NCUA insurance, low or no fees, free ATM access, or other products you may need, and a user-friendly website or app. All right, so once you've applied for your new account, then the second step is you're going to fund your new account. Most institutions require you to make your initial deposit by transferring funds from your existing financial institution. So remember to keep enough money in your old account to cover any outstanding payments drafted before you can change them. Step 3, update any automatic transactions. Make a list of automatic or recurring transactions like payroll deposits, gym memberships, insurance premiums, and any monthly subscriptions, including the next date you expect them. Notify any person or organization that sends you automatic deposits first, so you know when income will start flowing into the new account. Then you can switch any automatic payments. Most banks have a direct deposit form that you can send to your employer or other income sources authorizing an update. The change may take a complete accounting cycle, like a month, depending on how much advance notice an employer or a merchant needs. So you want to leave enough money in your old account to cover outstanding recurring payments. Step number 4, stop using your old account. Stop using your old debit card and paper checks after you switch any automatic deposits and withdrawals to your new account. Remember, you might have other accounts linked to it, such as a credit card or Venmo account that must also be updated. And the last step, number 5, close your old account. I will say one of the biggest mistakes people make is closing their old bank account before all their pending transactions clear. So be sure that you wait until you have an account statement from your new bank to verify that all of your monthly automatic transactions are linked and are, flowing into and out of the new account. Many banks require you to speak to a representative to close an account. And if you have a remaining balance, they can transfer it to your new account or even mail you a paper check. And remember that you may have interest earnings on the account, whether it's a checking or a savings, that you're going to need to pay income taxes on. So it may make sense to keep the account open through the end of the year so you can get your final year-end statements for tax purposes. And once your account is officially closed, you can destroy your old debit card or paper checks. Switching to a better bank can be the key to getting better service, paying fewer fees, and earning more interest on the money you already have. Before we go, a quick reminder to subscribe to The Money Stack. That's my Substack newsletter when you visit lauradadams.com. It's filled with money tips, tools, news, challenges, and things I enjoy. You can subscribe for free or support the show as a paid member and get access to live educational events like my upcoming Smart Investing Masterclass called Overcome Your Fears and Procrastination and Start Building Wealth. That's all for now. I'll talk to you soon. Until then, here's to living a richer life. Money Girl is a quick and dirty tips podcast, and we've got a terrific team that I want to thank. Steve Rickyberg audio engineers the show. Brandon Gachus is our director of podcast. Holly Hutchins is our digital operations specialist. Morgan Christensen is our advertising operations specialist. Davina Tomlin is our marketing and publicity associate. And Nathaniel Hoops is our marketing contractor.